Hello, everyone. My name is Carolyn Cooper. I am the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Project Lead the Way. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar this afternoon. Today, we welcome educators across the country to discover ways that PLTW can provide an exceptional learning experience for students and to share how to make programs possible through various funding opportunities. Before we begin, I'll share a few tips on how to maximize your webinar experience. We have several PLTW team members joining us today to moderate the Q&A as well as the chat box. So please join the conversation, share your story, and ask questions by engaging with fellow participants and subject matter experts. Don't worry if we aren't able to answer your question live today. We will follow up after the webinar with additional information as well as answers to outstanding questions. So again, I encourage you to use the Q&A or chat area to message about the content as well as network with other attendees. And we also welcome you to take our next step survey at the end of today's conversation. Our agenda. We will start off by giving you a brief introduction to Project Lead the Way and what it provides you and your students. We'll hear from actual PLTW students about their experiences with the Project Lead the Way program. Then we will have a discussion with a panel of PLTW Biomedical Science teachers and administrators about the successes they've had and how they've implemented and funded their PLTW Biomedical Science programs. After hearing from your peers, we will show you what it's like to be immersed in a PLTW Biomedical Science classroom. Then we'll share implementation steps and various funding options that schools and districts have. And finally, we will round out our time by answering your questions. I think that we can all agree that in this last year, we have a much larger understanding and appreciation of the important work biomedical science professionals do each day. The PLTW Biomedical Science program was created so that our students can experience this amazing field as early as high school and develop the skills they need so that they too can contribute to building a healthy future for all of us and our world. The classroom experience engages students, sparking their natural curiosity. And time again, we hear stories about how excited students are when it's time for PLTW, how students who normally don't step forward are the ones who shine in class and discover future career paths, and about the effect on the teaching experience. We hear how teachers who've reached a burnout point have been reinvigorated once they've had the chance to teach PLTW. And just all across the US, the stories are consistent. PLTW's research-proven, hands-on, problem-based curriculum unlocks both students and teachers' potential. PLTW Biomedical Science is focused on real-world experiences that tie directly to the day-to-day challenges of biomedical science professionals. In every course, students will experience the activity, project, and problem-based APB approach and take on the role of professionals in the field. In these roles, students learn the lab or clinical skills they need for success, along with transportable skills such as collaboration, communication, and presentation that help them interact with peers and communicate their findings. This helps them be more successful outside of the classroom, both in college and their future careers. Differing from common science electives, PLTW Biomedical Science encourages students to integrate components of all their science curriculum to solve problems, which leads to a deeper understanding of core knowledge and skills, but also a higher appreciation for what they are learning inside their classroom in relation to their future careers. Based on anecdotal evidence from our former PLTW biomedical science students, this is really the part of the curriculum that resonates with them and becomes a highlight of their entire experience. The program consists of 4 year-long courses, each with a comprehensive student curriculum, as well as extensive teacher resources and training. The courses in the pathway are structured so that schools can implement them flexibly in the way that works best for them and their students. Additionally, distance learning assets have been developed for each course, so schools can implement the curriculum face-to-face or online. And throughout this curricula, students become skilled in the techniques that are in demand in workplaces today. For example, in Principles of Biomedical Science, our first-year course, students explore various challenges like solving forensic and clinical mysteries, designing health promotions, and even controlling a medical outbreak through a series of emergency measures. Along with the recording of this webinar, you will also receive a walkthrough video where we go into this course in depth and you can see the curriculum and activities firsthand. We encourage you to share this with others at your school to just see how a course like this would work for your students. And to give you a better sense of the PLTW curriculum, we'll take a few minutes to dive into one of our newest modules. So living in unique times during this pandemic presented an opportunity for us to help students build their skills in biomedical science while helping them make meaning of the world around them. Each of our BMS courses has natural links to the pandemic, and we really wanted to leverage these connections to incorporate real-world, timely content into BMS classrooms. We'll play a short video now for you to learn more about this COVID-19 module.
The long-lasting effects of COVID-19 global health pandemic can be felt by millions of Americans across the United States. As we race to stop the viral spread, PLTW continues to stand with our network and is challenging students to think differently by releasing a brand new supplementary COVID-19 module that explores coronavirus through contact tracing, understanding how it spreads, and taking on the roles of real-world professionals to design new solutions for their communities, allowing students to make relevant connections to the real world. Because the students of today will become the scientists and engineers of tomorrow, discovering cures and solving tomorrow's challenges. We are excited to announce the COVID-19 module is available now through MyPLTW for biomedical science teachers.
As you can see, the module brings together the science of infectious diseases and builds student understanding of virology as they explore the structure and—
Wow, this is really exciting news. I can't wait to share it with Lily.
Thank you. So as you can see, the module brings together the science of infectious diseases and builds student understanding of virology as they explore the structure and origins of the COVID-19 virus, as well as how it spreads. The module also includes scenarios that allow students to step into the shoes of scientists and professionals working to understand the virus and solve the issues of this pandemic. Outside of the student experience, we also focus on our teachers. To prepare educators to lead the learning and build their confidence in subject areas, we provide professional development. PLTW core training is designed to create dynamic learning experiences for educators through flexible instructional support, as well as ongoing access to a professional community. Teachers take on the role of a student, engage in in-depth exploration of PLTW coursework, and gain invaluable experience to take back to their classrooms. So now that we've provided a big picture of the PLTW Biomedical Science program, we want you to hear directly from some of our students. Last fall, we were able to interview students about their experience. While watching the interviews, keep an eye out for the transportable skills that these students possess. We couldn't be prouder of them, and we hope you are as well.
Research skills on how to prep before going into a class, and better communication skills with my classmates, lab partners, and my teachers, really. Not only because it was a really cool lab, but because I'm actually messed it up the first time I did it.
Yeah.
So I had to do research and alter my procedure, and then I re-performed it, and I got the exact results I wanted. So
Okay, how'd that make you feel?
huge sense of satisfaction
All right.
that I got it.
Awesome.
PLTW has helped me become more independent and organized because of the way the course is structured. Human body systems is the first course I've taken PLTW, but it is challenging, and unlike any other, it actually requires critical thinking, and in other classes you don't always have that. In that type of structured class, it's helped me have more of a drive and determination and a work ethic for all my other core classes. Well, when, as we mentioned it in times, but the previous lab we did, I found it really fascinating with all the bones and seeing just how it could be with a forensic anthropologist and studying these bones. It honestly made me want to become a forensic anthropologist.
It's changed me a lot. I remember freshman year, I came in and I was like, because I'm always so afraid of being wrong. So it helped with my confidence a lot, and I feel like it helped with me working better with other people. I talk to people more. I remember freshman year, I'd be like, no, I'm doing this by myself.
I think the benefits that come from student-led classes is that we take a sense of responsibility in our own work. So we kind of figure things out on our own. Mr. Fleming's always there to lead us, but we have timelines that we try to meet to the best of our abilities, and it's like we're responsible for it. It improves our work ethic, our people skills. Basically all of the soft skills I have is because of PLTW classes.
Wow. Every time I see these student interviews, I am reminded why I do what I do. Thank you again to these students for sharing their time with us last fall so that you can hear from them today. And thank you so much to our panelists for being here with us to share their stories. I want to briefly introduce all of you, and then we'll dive into our questions. First, we have Ms. Lindsay Hall, a 21-22 PLTW Outstanding Biomedical Science teacher from Eufaula High School, Eufaula City Schools, Alabama. Welcome, Ms. Rivera. Welcome, Ms. Hall. Then we also have Ms. Kalina Moore from Antelope High School in the Roseville Joint Union High School District in California. And then finally, we also have Ms. Tina Rivera, principal at the Academy of Information Technology and Engineering at the Stanford Public Schools in Connecticut. Good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first I'll start out with a question regarding the initial motivation for bringing PLTW Biomedical Science to your school or district. I'll just ask you first, Ms. Rivera, what was the initial motivation for bringing PLTW Biomedical Science to your district? What problem were you solving for?
Well, we had a retired former science teacher of the year in our school, and he was the first one to tell us about Project Lead the Way's biomedical science program and how he thought it would be a good fit for our STEM program at AITE. We're an interdistrict magnet high school, and that's our theme. So we trusted his judgment, but We also had been offering the Project Lead the Way engineering program pretty much from its inception. So we were already convinced with how wonderful the engineering program was. And we knew that it came with a rigorous and relevant curriculum. We knew that it provided excellent professional development for teachers. And we also liked the fact that students had the opportunity to earn dual credit before they graduated from high school. So all of these things just really fit nicely with what we were trying to do. And also with the biomedical program, the curriculum was already aligned to the NGSS standards. So, and the last piece I think for us was that Project Lead the Way is excellent because it gives students the opportunity to explore potential career pathways. And in the biomedical sciences, we know that there really will be no shortage of jobs in this area for the next few decades. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
Thank you so much. That just sounds really amazing and what a journey you all have had. I'll ask the same question of you, Ms. Hall. What was the initial motivation for bringing PLTW Biomedical Science to your school?
Well, they started the program to offer our health sciences department more opportunities and a more well-rounded and rigorous curriculum. Due to some realignment and movement within our school system, it actually ended up in the science department and it ended up with me. And I'm so fortunate that it did.
That's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate you talking me through that. And for you, Ms. Moore, what was the motivation for bringing PLTW Biomedical Science to your school?
So I actually teach in one of 5 comprehensive high schools in like a high school district here in Northern California. And so at the time, the school that I'm at was a brand new school, and admin really wanted something not only that would make us or help us stand out, but something that was purposeful and engaging and solving real world problems. And so that was sort of what brought us here.
Thank you. And a couple of you mentioned the real world component and the tie into industry. Talk to me a little bit more about that and the impact of Project Lead the Way Biomedical Science on your students and how they think about their careers and their pathway into the workforce. I'll start with you, Ms. Moore.
Sure. So I feel like we can kind of tie a few things together here. One of the things I would say is like in the introductory course, students they're introduced to diabetes. And I think that in the culture of the students that we have, that's something that's pretty common. So it's something that they see at home. So we're bringing relevant education to them. We're getting them involved. We're helping them understand. And then as they move through the pathway, I think one of the other teachers here too has something similar, but we offer them certification. So by the time they graduate, at least our students, they have like a BLS certification. They've got medical terminology certification. They've got like an OSHA certification, and they have hours spent in hospitals, in skilled nursing facilities. So it really opens their eyes to not only career choices, but again, that sort of piece that ties with culture in their education too.
Well, thank you so much for that. How about you, Ms. Hall? What's been the impact of PLTW Biomedical Science on your students?
It's been a wide range of benefits and impacts for sure, but most students know about nursing and they know about being a doctor and they know about being a biomedical engineer. But with Project Lead the Way, they have the opportunity to learn about so many other careers that fall under that umbrella of biomedical science. I do offer a pharmacy tech certification for my students. So they come out of high school employable. There's a Stop the Bleed certification that they can do. They're exposed to so many different careers that may or may not require that traditional 4-year degree that we have pushed for so long. And as far as just impact in general, they are challenged, but they are challenged to become better students and better employees later on.
Thank you so much. And I'll ask you, Ms. Rivera, as a principal, what's been the impact of PLTW Biomedical Science on your students and educators?
Right. Well, I think, you heard some students really speak well about the Project Lead the Way program. So I think in terms of transferable skills like communication, critical thinking, and problem solving, even creativity. I know, when I walk into the classroom and I see students highly engaged in different projects like designing apps to solve problems and things like that. These are transferable skills, whether or not they go into anything in the health area. So that's one of the huge, and it does transfer. You even see it in other classes during their high school journey. We often have a lot of graduates come back from the Project Lead the Way biomedical program to talk with our students and our families, and they talk about college readiness. That's our job, right, in secondary education, to really get the students ready for college. And we know that there's an attrition rate in college where many students drop out for several reasons. But our students in the Project Lead the Way biomedical program come back, and when they speak to students and their families, they always say that, we feel that we've been truly prepared for the rigor of college. And they even will speak about, because many of them do go into healthcare area or medical field, they will speak about labs that they've done in the Project Lead the Way biomedical course in high school, that in their freshman year of college, they're being exposed to, and they feel very comfortable and confident completing those labs. So it's amazing the transferable skills that they can use in many different areas.
Thank you so much. Really underscores just the level of preparation students feel in college. Thank you. So I'll turn to both Ms. Hall and Ms. Moore for this question. Can you share a little bit more about what it's like teaching a PLTW classroom and how teaching PLTW has impacted you and your career? I'll start with you, Ms. Hall.
It has hands down made me a better teacher. It's made me a better learner. Like she was saying about the students doing the labs in high school, there's labs that they do that I did not do until I was in graduate school. So I've had to step my game up as an educator, and I'm excited about teaching again. I had started to get a little burned out, and I've only been teaching 16 years, but you get to that point, and with this curriculum, it has been amazing because I have become rejuvenated, and the kids can see that. They can see that we enjoy it. They can see that we're challenged, and that makes us challenge them. And I love it. I do. I love it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hall. I'm excited for you. I hope you do 16 more years with us. That's phenomenal. And you, Ms. Moore, can you tell me, what it's been like for you teaching PLTW Biomedical Science and the impact it's had on your journey as an educator?
Yeah, I share the same sentiment as Lindsay. It's definitely refreshing, invigorating. I actually really enjoy going to the professional development, the trainings. I feel like I've sort of transitioned from, well, now we're more of a facilitator, and it's invigorating for both us and the students. And I think this kind of goes back to the last question too, but the students have really learned the value of like trial and error. And as teachers, we see the value in that too. So it's fun. We kind of share it all, but I really enjoy it. And again, it's invigorating.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much, Ms. Moore. And this last question I'll pose of Ms. Rivera. Can you share a little bit about how you implemented the program in your district? And could you maybe give us some advice on how schools can build a case to keep the program and continue growing it?
Sure. I'm sure everybody has their own unique journey, but as an interdistrict magnet school with a STEM theme, one of the things we did right away was we looked at scheduling, and we went to a block schedule. I know somebody's asked a question that you guys will get to eventually about how they could handle or whether they could do Project Lead the Way in a semester if they double period. But in any event, we decided that that was the best way to go because it really affords students the opportunity to complete labs and other project-based learning type assignments. So that was one of the important decisions we made. We also found that because Project Lead the Way has the 4-year sequence of courses, that by having, we have an alternate block. So we're able to offer 8 courses over 2 days. And what that allows students to do is all of our students will take at least one more science course concurrently with their Project Lead the Way courses. So that's a minimum of 8 science credits before these students graduate. And I can tell you that almost all of them have more than 8 credits in science. So that was one other decision we made as we were implementing the program. Now, the best way to build a case to implement and grow the program, at least what we did was, we told the district, look, there's a phenomenal curriculum, because we know in a lot of districts, depending on, whether you have a new superintendent and board, curriculum can change, decisions are made, and when you have a new administration, sometimes those things change or get halted. But with Project Lead the Way, you're going to have a rigorous and relevant curriculum. As you saw earlier, they already have a unit on COVID-19. So that just shows you that they're up to speed with everything that's happening. And it's also aligned to your next generation science standards. So that's really critical. It prepares students for college and careers that are in high demand and require a skilled workforce. That's really critical and key, because again, isn't that what we're in the business to do with our graduates? Really make sure that they have these opportunities to be college and career ready. Although you obviously should promote the program, especially in its early stages, you're going to find that students are so excited and so engaged that they're going to sell it to each other. And those are the best salespeople, right? The students. So you're going to be able to fill those seats, because that's important as you're looking, each district, each school is looking at budgetary concerns. You don't want classes that are undersubscribed. So students are going to sell this program. And then it has exceptional, as you heard from, I think Kalina, and I think Lindsay will agree as well, because they've both taught in the program, has excellent professional development opportunities for teachers, and the resources for the program are phenomenal. So those are the selling points. And then from there, start with a class, right? So determine, I've heard somebody had the course originally in the health sciences, and then it got moved to science. It's on our science area because we don't have CTE teachers in that area to train, but it's in our science department. We introduced one course to start. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Find teachers who are dedicated to growing the program. You want your teachers that kids are excited about, want to be in their classes, and then get them trained. Obviously, it's good to start with 2 teachers if you can. That way, if anything happens, you have someone. And also, as you grow the program, there are 4 courses. So you can start to build the program. We had PBS in the first year. Obviously, we introduced the second class, HBS, in year 2. And then in our 3rd and 4th year, we introduced MI and BI, but we went on to add an additional PBS and HBS course in years 3 and 4, so that we can continue to grow the program as our first cohort of students graduated. So that's one way to do it. And then I will say that we're lucky that we had a grant to help us with funding for the program, and it's critical to our attracting students from all over Fairfield County, because we're an interdistrict magnet. But Project Lead the Way also is really helpful in helping you to figure out creative ways to budget the program into your system. So that's how we did it, and we've never been happier. We're really truly happy with the program. And I do want to say one thing, a shameless plug. We do have the National Teacher of the Year in our biomedical science program this year. She's going to be honored by the president and CEO on Thursday. So she trains she does a lot of the professional development. So they're using teachers that are doing great work to train other Project Lead the Way teachers. So it's just amazing. It's an amazing program.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rivera. Absolutely. I share your enthusiasm, and just double down on the plug there for the National Teacher of the Year, phenomenal. And also wanted to just say thank you for the lessons learned that you've had across your district and just the best practices that you shared with the listeners on the call this afternoon. So thank you again so much to our panelists for taking the time out. They will continue to stay on the line and be able to answer any questions that surface throughout the rest of the webinar. And so we'll pivot now to an actual classroom visit or virtual classroom visit. One of the best ways to find out about a PLTW classroom is to actually visit a PLTW classroom to see the students and teachers in action. And since we aren't able to physically take you to a classroom, we wanted to provide you with the next best thing, a 3-minute peek at what your classroom could be. Wow, thank you to all the students and teachers for their enthusiasm for Project Lead the Way programs. And thank you so much again to our panelists for taking the time to share their experiences. Next, I'd like to transition to our presenter for this afternoon, Autumn Berry, Senior Director of Implementations.
Thank you, Carolyn. As Senior Director of Implementations, one of my favorite parts of my job is working alongside school administrators and teachers in creating a customized implementation plan that meets their school's vision and goals to expand opportunities for all students. We just heard from our panelists how they have seen firsthand the way PLTW has transformed the learning and teaching in their schools. But the first step in that transformation process is in creating a strategic plan. And part of that plan is having a detailed view of the required investments and identifying the funding sources that you can use to support your program. PLTW programs vary in cost, but each program includes investments in 3 categories: participation fees, professional development, and equipment and supplies. The participation fee is an annual fee that covers all of the curriculum access and software rights for your PLTW programs. To be able to teach one of our courses, a teacher must be trained by PLTW in our core training experience. This is an online training led by some of the best PLTW teachers in the country. Lastly, our curriculum is project-based and very hands-on, so there are some equipment and supplies that you will need for your implementation. So now that we know more about the investments needed, let's talk about some funding opportunities to help you grow your programs. Every year, we have a wide variety of PLTW grants available for all of the different programs in our pathways. We have grants for brand new programs, as well as program expansion. These PLTW grants are made possible by our partnerships with leading organizations across the country. And since 2016, we have awarded over 5,300 grants to schools totaling over $51 million. And this year, we have more grants available to schools than ever before. Are you looking to make a bigger impact in your district with PLTW by adding new programs? These new PLTW grants will cover the cost of teacher training as well as program participation fees for the next 2 years. Please check our grant opportunity webpage to find out more and schedule a meeting with your local PLTW team member. We are ready and willing to find out more about your district vision and help you with your grant application. Through these grants, PLTW will partner with your school or district to help you throughout your PLTW implementation journey and beyond. Applying for PLTW grants is easy through our simple application process located in your My PLTW account. And if you don't already have one, you can create this account quickly and easily on our website. We award grants on a rolling basis from July 1 to June 30th. So schools may submit applications annually. PLTW keeps applications on file until June 30th of each year. So we may consider schools for more than one grant opportunity throughout the funding cycle. Our PLTW grant opportunities are amazing, especially this year, and we encourage everyone to apply. But in addition to grant funds, there are other funding options to help you grow your PLTW programs. The American Rescue Plan, ARP, just signed into law this year, provides highly flexible, unprecedented funding through the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund, ESSER. This program creates a unique opportunity for innovation, equity, and access within your school, and many schools are already taking advantage. These highly flexible funds may be used to support all 3 PLTW investment areas. All of the items on this slide can be used with the funding: curriculum for all students, teacher training, allowable ESEA and Perkins uses, equipment and supplies, technology, in-school, after-school, and summer learning. Because the Act references evidence-based curriculum, we created evidence papers, one for each grade band, which enable you to dive deeper into the structure of our evidence-based curriculum, learn about our unique problem-based learning, or PBL, approach, and review the research supporting the positive impact PLTW has on student achievement. You can download all of these resources from our website. Is your head spinning yet? There are so many opportunities. And to help you break it down and compare, we have created a funding side-by-side resource on our website. This will help you see what federal funds are available and which ones can be used for our 3 investment categories. Once you get a handle on how these funding opportunities differ, you're probably wondering, where do I start? For that, I'm going to turn it back over to Carolyn.
Thank you, Autumn. Yes, we are happy to support you with next steps. We recommend that you connect with the PLTW team member to discuss any questions you have. Also, visit pltw.org. On our biomedical science page, you can use the range of resources located there, like science standards crosswalks, module descriptions, and the program overview to help you plan your implementation. On our website, you can also read blog stories about how other schools have unlocked student potential with PLTW. And you can also access the grant resources, the funding resources for ARP and Perkins and ESSER on our funding and grants opportunities page, as well as apply for an actual grant on mypltw.org. And this actually concludes the content of our webinar today, but our PLTW team members and panelists will remain to answer any questions that you have. So please add your questions in the Q&A. And for those of you that won't be staying on, thank you again for your time. We will launch a poll to find out what next steps we can help you with, and you should see that on your screen momentarily. Within a week, you'll receive an email with the recording of this webinar and additional resources to help answer any outstanding questions you might have. But if you would like to reach out to a PLTW team member, use the link that's been posted in the chat. This information will also be included in the follow-up email. So thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day. We'll remain on the line for a few more moments to address any questions. Okay, I do see a couple coming through. Can anyone train to teach PLTW? I've never taught something like biomedical science. I can take that one. So the gist of the answer is that anyone can become a PLTW biomedical sciences teacher. We have countless stories of teachers who found that they have confidence in leading the learning in areas where they previously were quite unsure. So absolutely, we reference the professional development and training opportunities for educators. So you do not have to have any specific credential or license to teach biomedical science. Let's see, any additional questions coming through the chat? I see one. How might the impact of the Gateway program transfer into the high school division given the growth opportunity? What specific information should we have on hand for admin to help them make this decision? Any PLTW colleagues on the line that would like to take that one? I see some folks already typing, so maybe they're taking that one offline.
Would you like me to share a response?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Thank you.
So with the Gateway program, it can do a very nice job at preparing your students for the high school biomed program, if that's what you're referring to. I think that's part of the question. So with our Gateway program, we do have a medical detectives course. So I wanted to mention that as a great way to lead into the high school biomedical program. And then the specific information we could have on hand for admin to help make that decision, your PLTW director would be happy to share more information about our Gateway program and the impact that has and how it prepares students for those high school pathways. We can also connect you with other schools, and they can share specifically how the Gateway program has prepared students for their high school pathways, and they usually help build and grow those pathways to be stronger and stronger.
I also wanted to just add that I think for school districts that have Gateway and the Project Lead the Way program, it's nice because students already had that understanding of how to look at problems and things like that. And they also want to sign up. They understand what the Project Lead the Way biomedical program is. So the counselors don't have to explain it or sell it to the incoming freshmen. It's just a nice segue and transition. So whether you have the Gateway first and then are looking to add the Project Lead the Way, it's nice because those Gateway students, most of them will be happy and ready to go on to the high school Project Lead the Way courses, or whether you're doing it the other way and thinking about adding a Gateway program, you then can obviously build your high school program as, for freshmen. So.
Can I add something to that as well? I work very closely with our Gateway teacher at the middle school, and I actually go over there and recruit for my program. So she prepares them for what they're going to see at the high school. And then we have a meeting and I'll go over and, sort of introduce myself beforehand. And it's a feeder course, really. So if you have a good, strong Gateway teacher that is selling your course at the high school, it also cuts down some of the work of promoting your program at the high school level.
Thank you all for all of those responses. Any other team members on the line that wanted to give voice to any of the questions in the Q&A? I know we had one related to PLTW core training and registering for that. Okay, maybe they've taken that conversation offline.
If others have questions, I can share that for PLTW training, we do currently have the fall and winter training options available for registration. With the summer schedule, there was a question about that, and we will have summer training opportunities, but those just have not been released yet. So watch for those to be released through our website and through our My PLTW direct emails, where you'll learn about how to register for those summer opportunities when they're available.
Fantastic. Well, I don't see any additional questions coming through Q&A or chat. But if there is something that comes up or comes to mind after we close for this afternoon, please feel free to reach out and keep an eye out for any of the follow-up communications that should hit your inbox within the week. Thank you again for the panelists that joined us today and for all the attendees that hung on the line with us.